News sources are often diluted by blinding graphics and old men yelling in suits to actually address the issues at hand. Excuse me.
There you go.
Every time I turn on my TV or I open Twitter, I brace myself for whatever atrocity is around the corner. And the worst part is I'm no longer shocked. We grieve, we say our thoughts and prayers, and almost as a clockwork, we move on until it inevitably happens again. I'm 14, I can't drive, I can't vote, I can't run for office, and I especially cannot keep planes alive. And for the most part, I feel as if I'm swimming in a pool of policy and political jargon, barely able to keep my head above the scandal-tainted water. As young people, we're often told that our opinions are false and founded on internet-age misconceptions. We're told that our clothes are too baggy and that our grades aren't good enough, but we aren't told about the limitless impact that we can have on our global community. Our generation is beyond unique. We've all been born by simply being born and accepting our roles as pioneers of the internet age. We have all been born into an experimental generation which is devoid of confidentiality and abundant in opinions. We may find ourselves thrown into a partition of fact and falsehood, but the age of information has pushed us all to grow and plant our roots into a foundation of curiosity and activism in order to navigate the sea of material. As members of the world's ever-dynamic and developing global community, it is our moral obligation to remain knowledgeable in both international and local happenings, as change is rooted in our ability and ambition to create it. Age does not define our ability to contribute to a revolution. We can still take part in community service. We can still write to our congressmen and women, and we can still take part in demonstrations and protests. We can still craft petitions and get our voices heard because the White House works for us. We can no longer accept thoughts and prayers as a form of currency to reimburse the American people for their grief and sorrow. We can no longer be a consequential punching bag for our government's complicity. We are the future. Whether you are with us or against us is up to you, but the world is ours to inherit, and we intend to paint it with revolutionary strokes of change. Thank you.
We left school after they opened the gates because they were locking us in. And so we walked out, we walked to Heritage Park, and then more people came, so we walked to In-N-Out, and then we took a little break because we were kind of tired. But after that, we came here. It was
on
really
the way
good
to every major intersection.
Yeah, we got some thumbs ups and some thumbs down, but it was really inspiring.
Tell me about your rally. What did you guys do at school?
Cassidy can actually tell you.
So first we opened with basically just introducing what activities we had planned. So we had voting registration and pre-registration for every student who wanted to try it out. We had pre-written petitions that people could sign up for regarding common sense gun reform. We had pre-headed letters to Steve Knight, and we also had a balloon memorial for all of the lives which were lost in Parkland, Florida. And then we had student speakers and calls for action from our
It was a good
congressional
thing that we
candidates.
did, but we felt that as students,
we can't just limit ourselves to that. We have to take more action. We have to show that even though we're just kids, a lot of people say, what are you doing? We are more serious than that. We want to make sure that people understand exactly how serious we are, how much this impacts every single one here, and how much it should impact the rest of society. Like, we're just walking down for like the past 4 hours, the hundreds of honks that we got, the adults knew change comes from the next generation, and we have to make sure that we ourselves understand that we are willing to do more than what we're willing to do.
We are the future. It's very important to make sure that you know this is not a partisan issue. This is not Democratic. This is not Republican. This is not about taking away your guns. This is about kids dying across the country. There have been so many shootings, and nothing is changing. We need change. That's why we marched today.
And to be honest, like, one of our opposers to this protest, or most of the opposers to this protest, are over 50 years old. Like, no offense to anyone, but they've already lived their lives with their rights to have their guns, to protect their homes. Like, we all understand that it's a right to have a pistol. A pistol is reasonable, you know. But when you have a big old machine gun that you could just shoot 100 people in like 30 seconds or whatever, it's unreasonable. We have our lives to live. They already lived their lives. That's why what we want is what we want, and we will not stand down. We won't.
And at the end of the day, we've gotten resistance from both sides, because both sides have things against us. Whether you're Democratic, Republican, but at the end of the day, we're all kids here. We all stand together. We all came out here today to prove one thing, and one thing only, that all our lives matter. We're all together, unified as one, and that's why we're here today. And anybody who wants to come against us, we will come back in strength in numbers and show you that we do have power. We do have power. We don't need the violence that's been thrown at us. All we need is our peace, our love, our positivity will get us through all of this. Because at the end of the day, we're the next generation. We're in control. We have siblings, we have brothers and sisters younger than us that we want to protect out in elementary schools. Teachers who tell their kids there is a possibility that somebody can come up on school and shoot a kid in the face. Somebody who's only 7 years old. And do you have any idea how traumatizing that is, that they have to see that on camera day to day? But you know what? That's enough. No more. I can't stand that for my brothers, for my cousins, for people's sisters, for people's mothers. Nobody needs to feel that pain anymore. So we can unite together. If we can stop putting away all of this, I'm getting money from here, I'm getting money from there to fuel my campaign. No, what we need is true support, not from money, but from our willpower.
And one more thing. So a lot of people, they'd like to tell us that this will not accomplish anything. What are you doing? You're just a bunch of kids rallying. But first thing, I have 2 things to point out against that. Is that one, none of us here planned this together. It was each separate person got into little groups, and we all somehow miraculously met up. We didn't have enough posters, so we went to Walgreens, made our own posters. It's like in the span of less than 4 hours, this community of people I don't even know became my brothers and sisters. Why? Because people do want this change. People do want this to happen, and the public understands that. The public can see that these people, they are willing to unify, and this is the least Santa Clarita thing I've ever seen. I'm so sorry. I've never seen this many kids gathered together and doing it, and not to mention how many people in the streets actually supported us. We didn't expect that, but then once you see that, once people took that stand, everyone crowded together, everyone gathered along. We originally had double the amount of people here. A lot of them had to go back for other issues, but it was a powerful thing. It was life-changing, and this will definitely impact the future. Undeniably.
If you guys have one message you would want us to pass on to our city council, what would you say?
While we're here, all you politicians, anybody that's watching this, stop supporting the NRA. Stop taking money for your campaigns for the NRA. That goes
Steve
to the
Knight, that
politicians.
means you.
If you want to advocate for guns, it has to be a reflection of the people's will. Our democracy is created on a reflection of the people's will. When we have this many people who are outraged and want some stricter legislation, want some actions done, you have to reflect that as well, not from the money. So there's really one message you want to give, is that hear the demands of the people, consider them seriously, and from either side of the spectrum, all things must be addressed. Even if it doesn't solve the complete issue, if it saves one life, I'm all for it. And every single step that saves one life must be advocated for. There is no universal solution.
Before the money. Put our lives before your money. This is, I feel like, the message.
At the end of the day, the world is ours to inherit, and the White House is supposed to work for us, not the NRA.
Yes.
And I do have some specifics that, our city council can't implement. Because we do know you guys don't have the power to change the laws up very far, but you guys do have the power to do small changes, from banning extra security at school to metal detectors to anything that can help us on a small scale level, just for us to feel safe at our schools, at our homes, and places like that, where we can feel safe, that we can go get our education and come back and do better things and prosper our valley. We work so hard day in and day out, cops, police, firemen, EMTs, paramedics, doctors, work day in, and people like you work day in and day out to try and be better. We can work as a team, and if we can just make small changes to be a model for other cities, eventually we will trickle that change to the top.
Mental health programs, there's so much stuff that can be done.
And I also just wanted to add one more thing. We are like 14 to 17 years old, some of us maybe even 18, and we are the future. So if you won't cooperate with us, then we will vote you out. That's all I want you to know. We will vote you out.
Yeah!
No more.
Thank you for listening to us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Can I
thank you
give
so
you guys
much.
my cards in
course.
case you want to
Yeah,
follow
sure.
up or have any more information?
I'll send a photo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Cass, where are you heading now?
I'll probably take the bus back. There's actually going to be another rally at 3:15
there's
for a
a-
whole party.
315 Heritage Park.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming and speaking with you. I'll definitely
you.
pass the message along to
I
our
hope you
city
guys have a
council.
wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, you guys too. Thank you.
Bye.